Hello friends, welcome to my channel Bhaskara Uvacha, and in this episode I am going to discuss the Vedic horoscope of Prince Andrew of England. My interest in his horoscope was sparked by the recent events. Uh, he was detained by police for questioning, and his name has appeared in the context of Epstein files, drawing global attention and controversy. Reports suggest he shared confidential government information with Epstein, and his long association with that circle has cast a shadow over his public life. He is younger brother of the present King of England, King Charles. So, of course, he was a senior member of the British royal family till recently. But because of all these scandals happening related to him, because of his association with Epstein, he has recently been stripped from all his royal titles. So I just thought, let me examine his horoscope and see how we can see this kind of pattern, the kind of life that he has lived from his horoscope. And I thought, let me also share my analysis with my followers, my audience. So I just thought to make a video on this. So here is his uh, birth information. Uh, just a second. Yeah, here is birth information. His birth information is 19th Feb 1960. 3:30 is the time. Place of birth is London. He is Cancer ascendant. Cancer 4 is written in the first house, and first Lord Moon is placed in the first house. Sorry, in the fifth house, in the sign Scorpio. So first house Lord is placed in the fifth house. So and in the sign Scorpio, and Scorpio we know is ruled by Mars. Mars is placed in his sign of exaltation Capricorn in the seventh house and looking at the first house. So first house Lord is placed in the fifth house, and fifth house Lord is looking at the first house. So this single factor, mutual connection between the first house and the fifth house, is an indication of he being a special person. He would always be noticed wherever he will go, because fifth house is the house of uh, gaining attention. Wherever he will go, he will be noticed. He will be in the news. He will live the life of entitlement. He would be like a celebrity. He would be interacting with lots of special people, fifth house, politicians, royal people of royal lineage, film actors, models, all kinds of celebrities he will have lots of interaction with in his life because of this first house, fifth house mutual connection. Because first house Lord Moon is placed in the fifth house, and fifth house Lord Mars is exalted, giving a strength to the fifth house and looking at the first house. So it's mutual connection between the first and the fifth. Very special birth. So this one factor is indicating that he can be born in a very special, entitled environment. And second house is seen as the house of family, of birth. What is the sign in the second house? Leo, royal sign, Leo, sign of sun, and that is seen by sun. So sun, being the ruler of the second house, is placed in the eighth house, and looking at the second house. So that is second house is getting supported, and Jupiter is also looking at the second house. And this Mars is also who is the lord of the fifth house and the 10th house, because in the 10th house we see Aries sign is there. So this Mars is also looking at the second house. So his second house has also gained a lots of strength, uh, seen by Jupiter, seen by Mars. Mars is the most auspicious planet for Cancer Lagna people, because Mars is the lord of first house, sorry, fifth house and 10th house. Mars is the lord of fifth house and 10th house, and Mars is looking at the second house. So, of course, Mars is also adding strength to the second house of the family of wealth, family of birth, and Sun, the ruler of the second house, is also looking at the second house. So, that is again adding a strength to the family of birth. And then Jupiter, being the Karaka, being the natural significator of the second house, is looking at the second house. So, adding a strength to the family of birth. And the sign of the second house is Leo, the royal sign. So, no doubt and no wonder he was born in a royal family. He was born a prince. He is immediately younger brother to uh, Prince or King Charles, who is the present king of England. So that we can see. So uh, easily it is seen that this horoscope is indicative of a royal birth. So just let me delete these lines that I have drawn so that it does not look very dirty and messy. Okay, good. Now, one more interesting thing that we can see in his horoscope is that uh, just a minute, I'll take the pen again. Uh, Rahu is here in the third house and Ketu is here in the ninth house, and all these planets of his horoscope are on the same side of Rahu Ketu axis. So this is classic case of mm, example of Kalsarpa Yoga. Here, let me clarify. Although I am mentioning Kalsarpa Yoga, but let me clarify. Just having a Kalsarpa Yoga does not create mm, uh, great problem in any horoscope. And here, despite having Kalsarpa Yoga, he was born as a prince, and he lived whole his life as a prince. He has lived life of great entitlement. He has been an important personality uh, all through his life, and he has enjoyed lots of privileges as a royal uh, uh, person. So Kalsarpa Yoga does not create much problem as such, unless and until there are other yogas that can be trying to create problems. Then Kalsarpa Yoga can magnify that, because Kalsarpa Yoga can make something that would in normal scenario would have been not so serious. It can give either a big positive rise or a big positive big fall also in life. So that kind of thing Kalsarpa Yoga can cause. And I will discuss about other yogas in his horoscope uh, just as we continue into this video. But here, in the context of discussing Kalsarpa Yoga, we can see that Rahu is placed in the third house. Third house is the house of courage and desire and enterprise. So Rahu will make him driven by his courage. Like he would have lots of courage, lots of enterprise, lots of desires also. Because wherever Rahu is, and he would be wanting to communicate also. And third house is also it belongs to calm trikona. So third house, if it is very active in someone's horoscope, can give someone lots of sexual desires also, because it's house of desire trine. And then Ketu is placed in the ninth house. Now, if Ketu in the ninth house is the house of dharma. It's a house of, you know, right and wrong, value system. It's house of, you know, religion that somebody is born into. Now, what is the significance of religion? Religion tells you what you can do, what you can't do. Every religion, if you look at it, all the religions are teaching us good things only. That okay, these are the morality and everything. Those things and the value system comes from the religion. The judgment of right and wrong. Now, when Ketu is in the ninth house, somebody can be very unconcerned about those things. Now, Rahu in the third can give someone very great courage, s- lots of desires, including the desire for having sex. And Ketu in the ninth house can make someone unconcerned, or the person can be not, may not care for the values. So that can happen. So we should note this. And always remember that it's Kal Sarpa Yoga also. So there can be some imbalance. Uh, there, something can magnify a lot in his horoscope, and something may not find that kind of balanced expression in his life because of this Kal Sarpa Yoga. Otherwise, it doesn't create any big issue as such, but the only that thing is the only thing that we should just keep in mind. Otherwise, Kal Sarpa Yoga is not something that if it is there in someone's horoscope, it will ruin the whole horoscope. We should not think like that. So I hope I have made my point very clear. Now, I have heard that he is a very arrogant kind of person. He misbehaves with, he has misbehaved with his staff members. So I just, by mistake, I deleted that horoscope. So let me, good, I had that, a copy of that on this page itself. So I can, so how we can see that? Uh, he is very arrogant, and he has been, behaving like there has been lots of report. He has been reported to be behaving with cruelty with his personal staff in the palace, inside the palace. So, and how we can see that? And overall, he is reported to be not very sensitive kind of person. So, if we look at it, here is his moon at 2 degree in Scorpio. Here is Ketu at 2 degree in Pisces. So Moon and Ketu are in exact trine and at the same degree. That means they are closely associated. In Navamsha, they will get conjunct also. A person with close association between Moon and Ketu, such a person can be little insensitive. He may not care for how his behavior is affecting others. So such people can do things, and they may not care for how others are affected by what they are saying or how they are behaving, or if somebody is getting hurt by their behavior. So little non-sensitive, emotionally non-sensitive, this can make him. And then if you add to that, that moon is placed in a Scorpio sign, which is a Martian sign, and Mars is looking at first house also. So, and Mars is very strong, exalted Mars it is. So he can have no Martian traits of being little uh, impulsive, tendency to get angry very quickly. So, and Mars is also looking at the second house. So he can speak harshly also with people. So those things can be there. So we can see that there can be a natural tendency within him to act in in a non-sensitive way with people around him, and speak to them harshly or misbehave with them, or behave, or he can have some trace of cruelty in his behavior, natural spontaneous behavior. So all those things can be there, so that we should not ignore, because when I am trying to understand someone's personality and why someone behaved in a way, the way he behaved, then we need to notice that what kind of basic personality traits the person will have. Now, uh, he worked in Navy, in the British Navy in the beginning, like initially, for the initial phase of his life when he was running through Jupiter and Saturn Mahadasha till 1979, I guess. He studied in a school and college, and then towards the end of Saturn Mahadasha, he went to work in British Navy. So he had a long career in armed forces, in the defense forces. Why that happened? See, Aries is the sign of the 10th house. It's a Martian sign. Mars, the 10th house lord, is exalted in Capricorn and looking at the 10th house also, looking at the first house also. And first house lord is Moon sitting in Martian sign. And Moon Lagna, if Moon is acting in two capacities here, one is Moon is the Lagna lord, and Moon in itself, wherever Moon is placed, that sign itself is called Moon Lagna. So Moon Lagna is also under the influence of Mars because that is ruled by Mars. So there is a heavy influence of Mars on the core areas of his horoscope. So that made him work in Navy, and he also, I think, was involved in some one or two wars that British Navy was part of. So he took part in those wars also. So that we can see from this um, horoscope that why he could be involved in that. And Mercury Dasha, we can see uh, it was from 1980 to 1997. He was running through Mercury Dasha, and after that, Ketu Dasha started, and he left British Navy in 2001, I guess. So half of the Ketu Dasha also he worked in uh, army or navy. Sorry. So why he worked in navy during Ketu? Sorry, during Mercury Mahadasha, and later also in the half of the Ketu Mahadasha. See, Mercury is sitting in Aquarius sign. Aquarius sign is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is sitting in the sixth house, and Jupiter, the sixth house lord, is also looking at the 10th house of career. We already saw that there is a strong Martian influence on his Lagna, on his 10th house, on his Lagna Lord Moon as well as on the Moon Lagna. So when Mercury Mahadasha came, and Mercury was indirectly connected to sixth house, and with so much of uh, connection of sixth house and Mars to the Lagna Lord and 10th house. And anyway, it is. a tradition in the British royal family also that people of prince, they, of a a prince of of the British royal family would go and work in the armed forces. So he went there and he worked, because anyway his horoscope is also indicating that, and it was as per the tradition as well. So uh, after 2001, uh, while the Ketu Mahadasha was still running, he he retired from, he left navy and he started living a civilian life. So that also happened. And Ketu, anyway, Ketu is sitting in the uh, ninth house. So ninth house was active at that time. And so sometimes Ketu gives you that kind of detachment, that okay, I don't want to go through that trigger in my daily life that much. Ketu is that kind of planet also. So he must have got that kind of mindset at that time. And then once he left Navy, he, and during this period, this Mercury period only, while he was working in uh, British Navy, he got married. Uh, his marriage happened. Uh, um, which year? Let me check which year he's married. He got married. Yeah, he got married in 1986. He was running through the dasha of Mercury Venus at that time. So, so he was running through the dasha of Mercury Venus. So Venus, too, we can see, is sitting in the seventh house. So Venus can give him marriage. Why Mercury gave him marriage? Mercury gave him marriage because, first of all, see where is Mercury sitting. Mercury is sitting in the Aquarius sign. And this is seventh house from Mercury. And the Lord of seventh house from Mercury is Sun. He is sitting with Mercury. That is one reason. Mercury is sitting in the eighth house. Among many other things, eighth house is the house of your in-laws, your spouse's family. So the Lord of the seventh house from where Mercury is sitting, his Sun, and Sun is sitting with Mercury. That is one thing. Second thing is Mercury is sitting in the eighth house. People often get married in the eighth house. Whenever their eighth house is activated, that is also there. And it is also a fact that in the Navamsha, although I have not displayed Navamsha here, in the Navamsha, the seventh house is Sagittarius. So, sorry, the Lagna is Sagittarius, so seventh house is Gemini. So, uh, Mercury is the lord of the seventh house of Navamsha also, because Lagna of Navamsha is Sagittarius. So that way also it is there. So Mercury Mahadasha gave him marriage, and he got married in 1986 when he was running through Mercury Venus period. But his marriage, I think, it did not survive a long time. He got separated from his wife in 1992, uh, and he took divorce from her when in 1996. So in the Mercury period itself, the divorce also happened. Why that happened? See, why he was divorced. First of all, during this phase, this whole Mercury phase, he was working in the British Navy. We know this. And so he must have been out of the house a lot. And if you look at it, this is Mars Venus combination in the seventh house. And I said this already in the beginning that he is little emotionally insensitive because of this Mars Ketu union, and little, aggressive, cruel kind of person he is. So he must have, and he was already working in the British Navy, so he may not have been present inside house and live to give company to his wife a lot. And when people have Mars Venus combination in the seventh house, Mars Venus combination in any house can make you very highly sexual. And if it is happening in the seventh house, it can make you very sexual. It's a very, volatile kind of yoga anywhere in the horoscope, but when it is happening in the seventh house itself, so he may have, uh, as not, since he was not living with his wife uh, most very often, and he was going out and working in navy and interacting with lots of people outside. So he may have, I think, felt disconnected from wife and got associated with other females during that phase. So that could have caused some kind of quarrels or fights inside his marriage environment, because it is Mars sitting in the then seventh house, and seventh house Lord Saturn is sitting in the sixth house, which is again indicative of disagreements in marriage, fights in marriage, or he not being very structured in managing his marriage or his relationship in general. So that is why he might have got divorced within 10 years during this phase. Uh, two, two of his daughters were born. Uh, First daughter was born in 1988, uh, uh, when he was running through Mercury Moon Mahadasha. Mercury Mahadasha, Moon Antardasha. So Moon is sitting in the fifth house. So we can see that. And Mercury is the Lord of fifth from where he is placed. If you count from Mercury's placement, Mercury himself rules the fifth house from where he is placed. So Mercury can give the results of fifth house. And Moon Antardasha, he is placed in the fifth house of the horoscope. So that is there. So, and Mercury is placed with Sun, which is the Lord of the natural fifth house. So all these things are there. So uh, he had first child born in the Mercury Mahadasha and Moon Antardasha. And after that, second girl was also born in 1990, when he was running through Mercury Rahu period. So Mercury is the, I have explained why Mercury gave him a child, and why similarly Rahu gave him child. One example we can see, Rahu and fifth Lord Mars are in mutual trine. So that we can see. And other explanations for why Rahu gave him also a child can be seen if we go into divisional horoscopes, which I am not going right now. But yes, it is also explainable. Although here also it is there that Rahu is placed in trine with the fifth house lord, and anyway Rahu Ketu axis is along the ninth house is touching the ninth house also. Rahu's tail is Ketu and touching the ninth house also. So ninth house being fifth from fifth can also give a child. And if we go and see Saptamsha, Navamsha, Rahu is indicating um, uh, from there also. Here also Rahu being at 2 degree can in the Navamsha it will come in Capricorn. So virtually Rahu can act from here also where fifth Lord Mars is sitting. So Rahu can also give child. And why he had two daughters only? Because Moon, a feminine planet, is placed in the uh, fifth house. And anyway, one more interesting thing that we can see, he has Pitru dosha, ancestral karma, some bad karma, ancestral. Why? Because ninth house, Ketu is sitting. What is the sign of the ninth house? Pisces, ruled by Jupiter, afflicted by Saturn, conjunction with Saturn, and even Sun is afflicted, the Karaka for the ninth house. So all the factors of ninth house Lord, and the Karaka for the ninth house, they are afflicted. So there is a Pitru dosha also. So if somebody is carrying the Pitru dosha, anyway, they are less likely to have male children because male children can carry your ancestry. So when you have a problem in your ancestry, in your horoscope, you will not have male children to carry your ancestry to the next generation. So that is also there. So this is how it is. And now if I already mentioned that he has Mars Venus combination in the seventh house, and he is born on the Ashtami Tithi, which is ruled by Rahu. Tithi of birth tells you about your subtle relationship tendencies. So, people born on a Tithi ruled by Rahu are anyway, they can be little more experimental in about their relationships, and they can may not be easily be satisfied by their partner, and they can have some unconventional drive in their relationship because of the Rahu's trait. And there is a likelihood of, if other yogas are supportive, they can have multiplicity in their relationships. So that is one thing. The he is born on Ashtami Tithi. Krishna Paksha Ashtami means uh, waning moon, eighth lunar day of the waning moon, which is ruled by Rahu. So subtle tendency of relationship is being controlled by Rahu in his horoscope. And Venus is also placed in the seventh house. So lots of sexual drive is there. So he has been known to have very high sexual energy, and he was even called Randy Andy, I guess, in his school time. This name has stuck with him through his adult years. This is the nickname given to him for being highly sexual, very flirtatious, and dating numerous women. Prince Andrew has often been described in the media as having a womanizer. Uh, uh, Over the years, he was linked to numerous romantic relationships with actresses, models, socialites. So why he is all the time dating all the famous women? Because of, I have already told you that his Lagna Lord is in the fifth house. Fifth house gives you that kind of environment where you will be interacting with all kinds of important people, all kinds of celebrity minded people, the celebrity personalities, and fifth house is also the house of romance. So, and anyway, Scorpio moon is in the Scorpio Lagna Lord, although his Lagna is Cancer. So from the Lagna he can be seen as a very nurturing and caring person, but the vibrational frequency of the Lagna Lord is aligned to Scorpio. So it can be very intensely emotional person, uh, wanting that kind of, you know, intense love, energy in his life and enjoyment in his life, because fifth house energy is there. And dating with all kinds of celebrity and important, very famous girls, all those things are there. And combine this with this yoga in the seventh house, Mars Venus yoga, he has lots of sexual drive also, lots of urge to have, you know, sexual experiences. And then Rahu is the lord of his birth tithi and has a trinal influence on seventh house also. So his subtle tendencies are very unconventional, and he may not always follow the orthodox values of relationship in whatever society he's born with. He will be very open-minded as far as relationship is concerned. So those things are there. And then he will not be very good at managing his relationship because the seventh house lord is placed in the sixth house. So he will have, uh, like, he can date or he can have relationships with many females one after the other, or even simultaneously also, parallelly also, I would say. He can have relationships with many females. And sometimes, although there is no news of this, but sometimes people with Mars Venus close conjunction can sometimes have bisexual tendencies also, although I don't know if such uh, tendencies have been seen in him or not. So this is that. So uh, actually, now we can understand, now that I have explained this Rahu, Mars, Venus, and Saturn sitting in, affecting his relationship tendencies, we can understand that. And this Venus is also 11th house lord, because Taurus is listed in the 11th house. So Venus is 11th house lord. So friends, no, the influence of friend here in the whole scheme of thing. So we say that he was friends with Epstein. How he became friends with Epstein? Because he became uh, UK's special representative for international trade. Trade and commerce is third house. Rahu is there. Business is seventh house, and business representative is anyway seventh house. Mars, Venus, they are placed there, strongly placed there. So we can say that how he got into that role also, because he already had very strong third house, very strong seventh house. So all those things were there. So and that seventh house and third house are connected also, because the seventh house lord is looking at third house. So uh, he was acting as, and seventh house also gives you career in diplomacy. So it was kind of some diplomatic position only. He was working as UK's special representative for international trade, and during that phase he was running from 2004 till 2024, because he has started uh, to work as UK's representative of special trade and business from 2001 onward, and he started Venus Mahadasha in 2004. So this whole yoga, this high sexual energy drive giving yoga was already active from 2004. So he must have got into, social and professional network of uh, people who might have uh, given him the chance to even have more opportunities for sex and sexual affairs and relationships, short term relationships, and all those things. So I think during this phase only, when he was running through Venus Mahadasha, he must have got into touch with Epstein also and all those parties, because 11th house is also your community life, your group activities, where he would have, all these things already, because Venus Mahadasha is running. So Rahu uh, is influencing it. Rahu energy is there. As I said, Rahu is the Tithi of birth Lord, in his horoscope. And through trinal connection, Rahu is also influencing the seventh house. Already Mars Venus combination is present in the seventh house. So, and then seventh house Lord is placed in the sixth house. So there can be lack of structure, lack of um, willingness to get into any kind of regulation uh, related to how he would manage the relationship. All those things would be there. So of course we can understand that how he could have got into that kind of circle, groups, 11th house, where he might have done things that were not as per how the society expects you to behave, because you are not honoring those values. You have Ketu in the ninth. You don't care for how it is expected for you to behave as a prince, as a representative of the royal family. So you have no care for the value system because you have Ketu in the ninth, and then you have lots of courage. You can take risk, Rahu in the third. And then you have Mars, Venus in the seventh. You have lots of sexual drive. And then means you can have uh, it can be so bad. The sexual drive can be so high that you can't live without it. That kind of sexual drive. And then you have lack of regulation. You can't manage it well. You can't manage the energy well. So it's a chaos. So in that chaos, he might have got into all kinds of associations or parties, 11th house social activity, parties and everything. And there he might have had those experiences. And then uh, I would say during that phase, since third house lord is placed, you know, in the eighth house. Third house is the house of communication. Eighth house is the house of confidential information, confidential knowledge, or anything he might have shared, you know, or spoken about confidential things with people who he was talking to, or he was exchanging email with them. He might have knowingly or unknowingly, or he might not have even cared for it that he is doing something wrong. He might have just, without much consideration, Ketu in the ninth, without much consideration, he would have simply shared some information with Epstein or his other associates during that phase, and for which uh, now when he has started Sun Mahadasha. In the Venus Mahadasha itself, few scandals happened at that time also, which he, like, I kind of denied, and he got into out of court settlement. But when Sun Mahadasha started, all the problems started, because when Sun is in the eighth house and Sun is seen by mm, Saturn also, it is yoga for uh, downfall, fall from the position of power. It's yoga that gives you a bad name. You can earn, because Sun gives you name and fame. So it's yoga of, Sun afflicted in the eighth house can give bad name, fall from the position of power, fall from the position of grace and respect, all those things. So, and it's also second house lord placed in the eighth. So whatever family privileges, titles, etc., that he came to him through family, he was stripped from all those titles. This has happened. And recently on 20th, I think, he was detained by police. It it was just one day after his birthday. And this 20th was also solar eclipse. So solar eclipse happened on his natal sun. So very bad. So all the negative effects of sun in the eighth house got triggered around this time, and he not only he got arrested. That was a big thing because in the last 300 or 400 years, he is the first royal to be arrested. Even if he was arrested for only 11 hours, but he was still arrested, and he was sent, like he was like police asked him to go home, but he has not yet been cleared from all the charges. And the dasha that he was running on that day when he was arrested is was of sun, Rahu, Mercury. So as I said, Rahu in the third, he must have been very, you know, and he must have been great, doing lots of communication with lots of people, uh, because Rahu in the third, it gives you urge to communicate. And then third house lord Mercury in the eighth, as I said, so he must have communicated about, confidential things. So sun, Rahu, Mercury, all those energies got activated in a very wrong way, and those things came into the light of the public, and the authorities, and it created lots of scandal because eighth house thing, and whatever you have been doing, those things are coming into the light right now. So it is highly likely that the time ahead for him is not good, because Sun Mahadasha is still going to be there for quite some time. So it's not very good time for him, and I think it's not very good time for the royalty also of the for the British. I will not be surprised that if the public, the royal family of the Britain comes under lots of public scrutiny for what kind of things the royal, people of the royal family have been doing. So they should be very careful, because this solar eclipse happened on his natal sun. Uh, People may not even be willing for the royal, this arrangement of king being there, coming from the royal family, the system to continue, the monarchy should continue. So this kind of questions can also be asked in the media. So they should be very careful for creating positive public image. Otherwise, things can create lots of, no complications for them. So I hope, friends, you enjoyed this episode. I'll wait for your comments, and till then, I'll make more episodes like this where I will be discussing about horoscopes of people, just to teach you how to analyze horoscopes. Until that time, when I make some other video, uh, goodbye and God bless, and let's meet again after in the next video. Till then, goodbye.